Good morning and welcome back to the National Briefing. I'm Kelly Nash, and yesterday it was amazing to watch this unfold on Capitol Hill in real time. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's not getting a lot of coverage, but it was stunning to see it in real time. The Democrats' brains were breaking. As what was happening was we had testimony. We had law enforcement officials come up and tell the heartbreaking stories of how they have watched comrades be killed, sent to the hospital. We're suffering a wave of unprecedented attacks right now on law enforcement, particularly federal law enforcement, particularly ICE agents. And they weren't blaming Democrats. They were just giving you the data, the raw numbers as to what's going on. As a matter of fact, this is a little clip here of one of the guys, Michael Hughes, Federal Law Enforcement Association representative, and give us some of those stats.
There have been 620 officers shot in 483 separate ambush attacks, killing 135 officers.
Wow. 135 officers dead in unprecedented ambush-style attacks across the fruited plains. Now, anybody with a heart, anybody with an ounce of compassion, even if that's on the other side of whatever political spectrum you're on, when you hear something like that and you see grown men crying and you hear about wives becoming widows and you hear about children becoming fatherless, even if you hated the person who died, you would still have some compassion. You would still say our deepest sympathies. But that is not what Democrats did yesterday. Let's go first and foremost. This is God's special little creature, New Jersey Representative LaMonica McIver. What say you about all that? Right back to this gentleman.
What they are trying to do is point fingers so they can deflect blame. They want to convince the American people that Democratic rhetoric is the issue. It is not Democrats who are praising, let alone pardoning, people who stormed this very Capitol complex to beat police officers and hunt down elected officials. It is Donald Trump who pardoned more than 1,500 January 6 rioters. I hope we can all agree, as we keep saying out of our mouths here, that any form of violence is unacceptable.
That may be the first time I've heard a congressperson saying, as we keep saying out of our mouths here, and I'm going to say mouths, although I believe she said mouths with a V. LaMonica McIver, if you're not remembering that name, she kind of became infamous in May, I believe it was, when she stormed an ICE detention facility and beat, as she likes to show, I really got on the mic when she said that, beat ICE officers. And she's still going through the legal process. Now she's been appealing, and the grand jury indicted her, and then she tried to appeal that, and she had another case lost last month, and she's got till like December 9th to bring forth any new evidence that she has. Otherwise, she's going to trial, I'm imagining, before the end of this year for beating federal law enforcement agents. She's actually part of the problem, and she's blaming them for that. All right, now let's go on over to, this is the Chicago representative. I mean, technically she's the Illinois representative, but the area in which she represents is Chicago. And it's Representative Delilah Ramirez. And she is fired up about this testimony that she heard.
The American people's anger and tolerance of DHS violations of our rights, that's what's the result of DHS unlawful, unaccountable, unconstitutional actions, which put the American people and our liberties at risk every day. Let me be very clear. The Department of Homeland Security, you can quote me on that, is the single biggest threat to public safety right now.
She wants to be quoted. Well, please, will you please do Representative Delilah Ramirez the great favor and honor of quoting her? Again, one of the leaders of the Democrat Party now, because she's as far left as you can get. So the further left you get, the more leadership responsibilities are assumed. Representative Delilah Ramirez says the reason for these officers being killed is the officers. They did it. It's their fault. This is the equivalent of when wife beaters blame the wife. If you hadn't done that, I wouldn't have to do this. If you hadn't tried to enforce the law, I wouldn't have to kill you. That's, again, an elected official telling law enforcement it's your fault because you are trying to enforce the law. And you know what? Let's get one more in here before I go completely crazy. We're going to go to Michigan Representative. Do you pronounce it Promelia? I should know this woman's name. I think we all just call her Jayapal because we're not really sure how to say her first name. Pramila? I'll go with Pramila. Pramila Jayapal. She is one of the, I think she's one of the original squad members. I think she's also the oldest. She's 60 years old. And she still has spent more time living in India than she has in the United States. But she's going to, again, set America straight. And so as soon as this little meeting was over with all the law enforcement agents talking about how they're getting killed and attacked and blah, 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 she says, you know what, I'm going to one-up you. I'm going to have a press conference right outside, and I'm going to not only blame you, but I'm going to, well, let's just listen to her new bill.
We are here today to say enough. Our Dignity for Detained Immigrants Act has a remarkable, unprecedented 123 original co-sponsors. It drastically scales back the use of detention. It ensures that every single immigrant who is in detention has their human and civil rights protected. It prohibits the detention of children and families and makes it harder to detain primary caregivers and vulnerable people like pregnant women or seniors or workers who are whistleblowing on unscrupulous employers.
It does what? Are you telling me that if the woman is pregnant, she can't be put in detention? Well, I mean, what is that true? Like if she's a murderer? Like what if she came to Jayapal's house and did some sort of act of violence? She doesn't have to go to detention because she's pregnant? Or what if she's not even pregnant, but she gets somebody to say she's the primary caregiver for somebody? Could be a child, could be an adult who needs help. You're saying that they don't go to jail? Now, is that only for immigrants? It's only the immigrants. So if you're a native-born American, the law applies to you. But if you're not from America, you get special treatment under the new Jayapal proposition here, which already has an unprecedented number of co-sponsors. Listen, what we're seeing is, you want to talk about unprecedented. I never really imagined they would go this far. They are so off the rails right now. Now, this is good news in the sense that it's dangerous news, but it's good news because the American people are going to have an opportunity here in just about a year from now, a little less than a year. You're going to have your midterm elections, and just whoever is running as a Democrat, it doesn't matter what they say on the campaign trail. This is who they are. If the Democrats are supporting whoever the said candidate is in whatever district they're in, that's who they are. That's what they support. And the American people are going to have a great opportunity here. You have been, the Bible talks about, I present before you life and death. I pray you'll choose life, but they don't always do that. Sometimes people choose death. And are we going to choose life or are we going to choose death? It's really that simple. The propositions of the Democrats lead to the end of, I hate to say this, it leads to the end of democracy. I feel like I'm Joe Biden now. I'm Sleepy Joe. We're fighting for the soul of America. Yes, they're fighting for the soul of America. They're fighting for democracy. We're fighting for a republic, actually, if truth be told. It's a republic. They try to change America from a republic to a democracy. We're not a direct democracy, obviously, because I don't need to give you people civics lessons. You understand that. We're a republic. They went from republic to democracy. Now they want to take it to socialism. And once you're in the socialist movement, then it becomes authoritarian. They decry the authoritarians, yet they themselves are the authoritarians. And they have very special favors for the people that they like, the people that they carve out. They're going to have, what do we want to call it? Right now it's white privilege. I guess it'll be immigrant privilege moving on. And it'll be some sort of payback. This is retribution. This is, this is because you've had 200 years of white rule. That sort of rhetoric will be used. America, you got a big choice coming up. But I appreciate the Democrats are coming out and telling you how they really feel.